Over the years, I've experienced a lot of discrimination and just being made fun of in various groups. I wasn't allowed to be in various groups because I was openly gay. So I decided to create Mariachi Arcoiris in the year 2014 so that other musicians like myself within the LGBTQ community can come together, perform mariachi music in a safe place. Okay, here you go. Heart, please. Ready?
I come from a family full of musicians. I have an uncle that is a mariachi player. I seen him at a family party one day, fell in love with it at the age of 7, and at the age of 8 I started playing violin. I really was intrigued by a violin. I am the world's first transgender female mariachi, and at a very young age I knew I was different. I knew I was a female stuck in a male body. I wanted to be like my other friends that were females playing in mariachis, and I couldn't do that.
We started with a 5-piece group, and now we're an 11-piece group, and it's grown so much. We've recorded our first album, so it's become so much more. So all of a sudden we get invited to do these wonderful, amazing things like El Grito at City Hall in downtown Los Angeles.
Bueno, aquí está Mariachi Arcoiris de Los Ángeles.
We've become a role model for other queer musicians within the mariachi world. We've become a role model for just people who are in these traditionally masculine jobs. But above being LGBT, first and foremost, we are musicians. We are mariachi musicians. We represent a culture and a tradition of Mexico. How well we play is how well we can represent our community. We must perform at the highest level possible. That is how we're going to defend ourselves from people who speak ill about the mariachi and say we're just as good, if not better, than a lot of other groups.
Somos el Mariachi Arcoiris de Los Ángeles. Muchas gracias.